Hi guys, T here. The first episode of what I hope is many for T and Bri Talk. Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon X and Y, and this is Titan, our kitten.
I'm a big kitty now. I want to eat everything.
But just in general, so obviously major spoilers ahead. We both just finished this game, so we're just going to talk about, our thoughts and feelings as far as how far Pokemon's come and what our impressions on the game were and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I judge an RPG, my favorite thing to do out the starting gate is to look at the villains, because, what's a story worth telling if you don't have a good antagonist? And, in 20 years, Pokemon has gone forward, but not very far.
No.
Because, way back in the day, I was just, right at that age when Red and Blue took the world by storm.
Yeah.
And Team Rocket's excuse for being evil was just to be evil. And, we steal Pokemon so that we can use them to
take over the world.
That
was their thing.
And steal things, I guess.
Just take everything that they can.
Okay, so, and in this one, we have there's a team in every Pokemon game. This time we have Team Flare, and their thing is that they are all dressed in orange jumpsuits, and they are sunglasses, and they are stylish. They've got flair to them. I was like, oh god.
Popping the collar.
Popping the collar, yeah. And the guy that leads them, Lysander, is under the impression that the world has grown too populous and filled with greed and corruption, so he's going to hit a big...
That's yours.
Oh.
Remember?
Oh, that's right.
X and Y are different.
There's differences between the two. Well, in Y, Lysander decides that the world is too full of greed and corruption, and he's going to hit a big reset button to kill everyone that's not a part of Team Flare. What was it in yours?
He says that he's going to try and save the world from useless people.
From useless people?
By using the power of the life Pokemon just to take out the useless people. That's the thing. It's it's a little, yours is a little bit more angry because yours is encased in death, and then mine has got the life Pokemon, so it's like...
Right, the two legendaries that pop up, Yveltal, which is the Pokemon god of death, and...
Xerneas is the Pokemon god of, well, not really god, but more like a Pokemon that can give life.
Yeah, so we're two halves of the same coin here to tell a story that happened thousands of years ago. Apparently there was a big Pokemon war, and Yveltal showed up, and his special ability apparently is that he can absorb the life force of everyone around him until he grows full and bloated, and then he turns into like a chrysalis and goes to sleep. So he showed up at the final fight of this apparently world war, it's kind of vague, and just kills everyone and goes to sleep.
Yeah, and Xerneas is the opposite, where it was trying to save as many Pokemon as it could before it ran out of power and then turns into a tree. So it dies essentially and turns into a tree. So
it's got like a Yggdrasil thing going on.
Yeah, so it tries to save as many Pokemon as it can before it runs out of life essence essentially, and then turns into this white tree. But the antlers on the Pokemon itself look like the tree. So we got two very different stories. Yeah, which is the point. There's usually two different, or at least three different...
yeah, because I haven't played a Pokemon game all the way through since Silver, so I had no idea there would be such a serious dichotomy, because Blue and Red were...
The same game, just different Pokemon.
No different.
Except for, the different Pokemon was the only thing that they changed. The story was the same.
Yeah.
See, I played everything up to... I didn't play a ton of Black. I have Black, and I've been playing Black, but I haven't finished Black. I've played through Diamond, played through Sapphire, played through Gold. I have Silver, but Ryan gave me Silver. My brother usually gets all of these games before me, and then he'll get the next one, so he'll hand me off the first one. So I have a lot of Pokemon games that are from him or from my best friend who also is obsessed with Pokemon, so... I've played through as many games. I've played through XD, played through Coliseum 2 on the GameCube, I think is what it was. There's another one. There's like two Coliseums, because one's on the GameCube, and then XD is the second one of that one. I think that's all I've played.
I don't know, I played blue, silver, and then I kind of tried tried the beginning of a bunch and didn't
Ruby.
play them. I just like lost interest. So when I went and got Pokemon Y, I was like, well, why don't we play this together? So at least we'll go on this journey together and hold each other accountable, or at least hold me accountable to finish this game and see what it's all about. And I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, it's a Pokemon game. The concept hasn't budged in 25.
The formula hasn't changed, but it doesn't need to.
It doesn't need to.
The big thing about this one is you can connect to the internet and get essentially free Pokemon, which is amazing. Because I was level maybe 10 or 11, and then I traded something for a Ditto, and then I could breed whatever I wanted pretty much from that point on.
Bri's into the breeding scene. Neither one of us did like IVs or major like number stuff, but you were trying to get
I'm still trying to get a shiny Ponyta at this point. I have a lot of legendaries just from trading. Essentially, I don't know, Y and X have new generation Pokemon, but there's a lot of old generation Pokemon in there that
it's supposed to represent, what did you say, France?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to take place in France. Like 90% sure this one's in France for sure.
So there's Pokemon from every generation up until now mushed into this region.
Continent, yeah.
Mushed into this region.
I have Edward on my shirt. It's not a Pokemon site.
Yeah. And I don't know. I really liked this one, not just because of all the tech upgrades and you can fight in 3D and stuff, but they added like a Tamagotchi aspect where you could play games with them.
Yeah, you can play Pokemon Ami, which is you play with your Pokemon, you give them food, and you can pet them, and they'll listen to you essentially more. So if an attack comes at you, it's a much higher chance of them saying they read your mind and avoided the attack, so there's a lot higher chance of actually just smushing somebody because they like you.
They'll tough out like death blows.
Yeah, they'll have 1 HP left.
They'll have 1 HP left because
they don't want to disappoint you, so they're gonna hang on to this and.
Yeah, I only did that with one of my Pokemon. I got his like love for me all the way up with Tyrantrum, who's Bri got me a little.
The little plushies.
Tyrant, and he turns into a giant T-Rex. I was so happy because the game's like, hey, you want a giant fucking dinosaur? I was like, hell yeah, I want a giant fucking dinosaur. So,
there's my Ouroboros.
Yeah, my habit for Pokemon games is that as soon as my starting Pokemon evolves into its final form, I box it, and then I pick something else to represent me.
He doesn't like Greninja. For all you Pokemon fans out there, you're gonna just be like, what is wrong with you?
I hate Greninja. I liked the frog, and I liked the bigger frog, and then Greninja came out, and I was like, no, didn't like it. But, so, Tyrantrum became my main guy, and darn if he didn't clean sweep half the gyms with just Dragon Claw, because Dragon type is so overpowered in this game.
Yeah, unless somebody else has a Dragon type and they can hit you first, you usually win.
Yeah, but what about the gyms? What did you think? Because they've come a long freaking way from having a few rocks in a room.
Well, they have 3D now. They can do that. When we were kids, 2D flat spaces was the thing. They tried to make it look 3D with shadowing, but it was usually a 2-dimensional space. And this one, they're like, you don't usually use the 3-dimensional aspect unless you're going up higher or lower in an area, but the gyms themselves, they kind of made them much more theatrical.
They were beautiful. Yeah. Like, one of them was like the Astro Crag. If you know what that is, you're dating yourself. Good for you. One of them was, a big roller rink for...
Yeah, that was the fighting one with Lucario.
Yeah.
Where you get the Lucario.
And there was... the fairy type gym was like a giant dollhouse.
That was the dollhouse with the fashion forward gym with no pupils because she's supposed to be more like a fairy. So
fairy type is a thing now.
Yeah, so that's the counter to Dragon. I'm sure everybody who's watching this is like, duh. But
yeah, I don't know anything beyond the basics. Like, fire, use water on it. Like, I don't know what steel is weak against. I don't know what
steel is weak against fire. Dark is weak. Sorry, let's go. I've been playing a long time.
So when a fairy type gym popped up, I was like,
and that's where they stuck like Jigglypuff and Clefairy and Clefable and Snubble. And apparently Snubble is just fairy. It was normal before, but now it's just fairy.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of the old ones, they're like, oh no, that's actually a fairy. We just didn't know about that type until this game.
Yeah,
Same
they
thing
were
with the
either like
Mega
normal or
Evolution.
psychic, and now they're fairy. Because I think Jigglypuff is straight normal,
It's supposed to be straight normal, so it's Snubble.
and now it's fairy.
Now it's fairy.
Fairy instead.
Yeah.
But
Some of them are normal fairy, or they're fairy and then normal as a side thing.
yeah, I really liked the psychic gem because that was actually kind of a spooky concept. Because when you go there, it's just a house, but it's
Yeah.
got the two statues in front of it that mark it as a gem.
Yeah.
And when you go inside, it like sends you out into this
Cosmos?
the cosmic landscape of God knows where, and you're walking on beams of light and talking with psychics who have psychic Pokemon because it's the psychic gem. And you fight the gym leader, and then it all kind of collapses back down, and you can see this house. It's a gym, but it's actually just a house.
It's just a house.
And you see it for what it really is, but there's nobody home.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the feeling it's like this room is probably full of people, and they're just choosing to make sure I don't see them.
Yeah.
So it was kind of spooky
Yeah.
as I was leaving to see this place for what it really was.
I think my favorite was the grass gym, but I really, really, really like Skidoo and Go-Goat. I think they're very overpowered.
Yeah.
As a grass type Pokemon that learns fighting moves and ground moves, I was like, well, I just can use this thing for everything. You know, and it gets the Horn Leech move when it gets way up there in level.
Yeah.
It's like I can just suck the life out of somebody and Earthquake them and then we're done. And that way overpowered, but
Yeah, it's become like a legitimate strategy for all your Pokemon to have 4 different elemental moves.
Yeah.
To diversify them.
Yeah, because then you can hit whatever and you don't have to have that element as long as you get the hit off first. If you don't get the hit off first, then
you might take something.
Then you might take something,
But yeah, and that's getting into the math and stab and double damage and crit damage, and I don't really pay attention to that. But I did understand the utility, because I think Tyrantrum had like dragon, normal, ground, and like rock.
Well, there's so many other types now that they've divvied up all of the moves we used to know into certain types that weren't that way before.
Yeah.
So now, like, a lot of fighting moves I thought were normal moves, or a lot of rock moves I thought were normal moves. Now they're rock, or now they're fighting.
Yeah, and I had way too much ground. I'm not very good at balancing my teams. I just grab things that look cool. So I had way too much ground and way too much rock on my team.
Water, beep.
And water people would just mow me over. And Bri and I did get the... we got these games in January, and it's April now. But during that time span, GameStop was having a, what was it,
25-year anniversary? 20-year anniversary? Something like that.
To give away Mews. So we went into GameStop, and they gave us these little trading cards with codes on them, so we could each get a Mew that... they're level 100, of course.
And they're level 100 and they only know one move, and it's Pound. And don't ask for it. Don't be like, can you trade me your Mew for this? Because we can't trade them because they're special Pokemon.
They're special event Pokemon, so
you can't trade them. Trust me, I tried.
We can't give them to you. I did feel like the flow of this game was much better. Like, I never had to stop and grind for anything. Of course, there's the Battle Chateau.
Which is where we're most of the time grinding anyway, because you get money from it.
Yeah, the Battle Chateau is a big castle that you can get to fairly early. Like, after the first badge, you can go in. And it's full of rich people who are willing to fight your Pokemon just like day after day after day. And they drop money like it's hot.
And you can get an amulet coin pretty early, put it on your first Pokemon, and you get double the money for that. So it's...
So you're getting...
You get like $500,000 no problem with this game, which is amazing for a Pokemon game.
Yeah, so there's no shortage of money if you're willing to go to the Battle Chateau and fight these people, because they're all rich douchebags with nothing but money to throw at you. And you can talk to the servants and invite even stronger people as the game goes on. So you're never without opponents if you feel the need to just stop and fight.
XP. Like, you can go to another place now that we've beaten the game where you just battle to test your Pokemon skills.
Yeah.
They give you nothing. There's no XP for that. I don't think there's any money for it either. Can't remember if there's XP or not. Not a ton. It's not a ton. It's way less than the Battle Chateau, I think. But correct me if I'm wrong.
But yeah, you could go there, and that was the only time, because I played this game mostly at work during my breaks, because I wanted something that I could play for a few minutes and then put it down, which in a lot of 3DS games you really just can't do. So something turn-based like Pokemon, where you can save whenever you want, things like that. So it took me 2 or 3 months to actually beat it, but the flow was so good, you know. And I remember in some of the early games you had to like, oh, you stopped in Cerulean City, well, Misty's gonna beat your ass, you better go grind for a couple hours.
Well, there's a lot more
Never felt like I had to do that. Yeah, there's a lot more space.
There's a lot more just things that change, like instead of, you know, having to just be in the same amount of grass or find trainers that you've already fought and you can't fight them again in the old games. This game, there's a lot more environment. There's swamps, there's, you know, abandoned factories and all these other places that you can get to that are unique.
Yeah, we got to go to the Pokeball factory. That was really cool. I liked the idea that they're showing some of these places like power plants, Pokeball factories, you know, big cities with cafes and TV stations.
And you can go to a cafe and battle people. Like, that's the whole point of the cafe, is every meal you get, you fight a person who's serving you, or is the owner of the restaurant, or is your waiter, or... That's very strange, but I mean, it works, because at the same time, it's supposed to take place in France, and they have a lot of cafes. And
a lot of tourists, and a lot of people that just, you can tell they don't belong there. So the theming was very good, that they realized this is a tourist kind of region.
Yeah. And so they have, the cafes are in every single town.
Yeah.
And some of them are not battle ones, like the very early one is not. You can't fight anybody there. You just kind of hang out with your friends in a cutscene. And there are a lot more friends in this game. Yeah,
there's no rival, there's friends. Now, I didn't really... Maybe I'm more bloodthirsty, I don't know. But there's like 4 or 5 friends that follow you through the whole story. That, like, one of them wants to be a dance instructor, one wants to fill his Pokedex, one is halfway competent as a Pokemon trainer and follows you around. And the other one, I swear to God, is just jailbait, who follows you around like a lost puppy.
Yeah, well, kind of. Sometimes she ends up there before you.
Yeah, which is really weird.
I don't know if you ever see her actually get a badge or not. I think she's just following you around, because the whole point of the game is to research Mega Evolution, and that's what Sycamore tells you to go do. So you have a bunch of friends who are like, well, I'm going to go do this and research this at the same time.
Mega Evolution. Yeah. I tell you, beyond when they forced me to do it, I never did it.
I'm having way too much fun because there are Pokemon that I like that have Mega Evolutions.
Yeah.
So I found, like, I don't think you know this one, but Ampharos. I found Ampharosite and just this electric, it's an electric giraffe essentially with flippers. I'm not even kidding. It's a sheep and it's adorable when it's
and
it gets to Flaffy and then it's standing upright and then it turns into the giraffe with flippers.
Oh, okay.
And so it's Mega Evolution. It gets Rockstar hair, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever. So that's kind of my thing right now. And then Absol has Absolite and turns into like way prettier version of Absol with wings.
Okay.
It has the curved horn here, but it's the blade changes and has actually an ear. You actually see a little bit of the ear on the other side of it.
Okay.
So I'm enjoying it, but you can only have one Mega Evolution Pokemon at a time. It's not useful to make an entire team.
Okay.
Because you can only have one activated at one time during every battle. You can't like switch them out. You got that person stays Mega Evolutionized until the battle is over.
Yeah.
So it's fun, but it's only useful if you're going to use one of them at a time. You shouldn't have a whole team.
You would pick like a favorite.
One. Yeah. So, and I used Lucario a few times because I like Lucario.
Yeah. And they covered a bunch of the major ones, like the original starters, Mega Charizard, Mega Blastoise, Mega Venusaur.
The Venusaur. I love Venusaur. The Mega Venusaur is not super exciting like the Rockstar.
Oh, okay.
The Rockstar hair. So I was like,
I just... Maybe I just picked all the wrong Pokemon, I don't know, just none of the ones that I had or wanted to train had Mega Evolutions, because like I said, I always put my starters away, I always try to pick something.
You have to get all of their jewels after you beat everybody, and then you have to go run around and find them, that's the key. Okay,
because like I was running around with Tyrantrum, Survivor, Talonflame.
And they don't have Mega Evolutions.
None of these have...
They have one Water Mega Evolution, and that's Blastoise. Everything else, there's no other water type.
Water got left out?
Water is just... So I was like,
It's like, I understand it because, Mega Evolutions were a rumor when I was in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
Running around and we called them, what was it? The rumor that was at my school was that Blastoise had a final form where he gets a 3rd cannon, and they called him Rainer.
Oh.
Because he was supposed to be so strong that he couldn't shoot you directly or you would die, so he would aim at the sky and shoot clouds down, and it would strike you with lightning. They called it Rainer.
Oh.
But and every school had rumors about Pokemon, but that's neither here nor there. But Mega Evolutions, I was surprised when they became real, and I don't know, I just never really embraced them.
It's literally, I think it's like a last step effort in a battle itself.
Yeah.
If you want to smush somebody, because if you can't
right
away, you would need to have that's the only reason to do it, I think.
It's your panic button.
Yeah, it's a big, it's pretty, and they're usually really, really cool looking, but after a while you're just kind of like, I didn't even, half the time I didn't use any on Mega Lucario unless I wanted to just start somebody else and be like, look what I got.
Yeah. So.
Which seems to be the whole point.
Yeah.
Is do you have the stone to make the Mega Evolution of Absol? Do you have the stone to make the evolution of all these other ones? So it's kind of like...
And they're only temporary.
Yeah, it's only for that battle, and that's it.
And so... And Mega Evolution in general, I think, made good on the story because it gave us an overarching goal other than to...
Smush a Team Flare.
Smush Team Flare and to do the 8 gems.
Become leader. And
become the champion. It's like we had several things going on at the same time, much to the game's credit, that it had this it was the journey and not the destination, which is kind of what the Pokemon TV show is always trying to preach to us. But early on, the games were too primitive. It was always completely goal-oriented.
Yeah, and there's sprinkling of story, but it's come a long way since,
Yeah, and 25 years of gaming pedigree will bring you forward anywhere. But, I could definitely feel the difference, feel the kind of love they put into it. Because in, Silver and Gold, I was not digging, getting my Graveler a haircut so that it would love me more. It's like...
They took out all of the beauty pageant show stuff.
The beauty talent shows.
So the way you actually get your Pokemon to do what you would intentionally let them, do in those things is you have the Pokemon Omni to make them love you more, and you have the training, which is them in a little 3-dimensional environment playing soccer or shooting something, and then you can actually boost stats that way. You can say, I want to boost my strength stat, I want to boost my defense stat, and it'll go up 2 points or 1 point. So if you sit there and dedicate yourself to this, you can have a Pokemon with way higher stats than normal.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of got a Tamagotchi aspect.
Yeah.
If you're willing to sit and play all the mini games and gather all the berries and feed them all the poffins and all that stuff.
Well, the thing, is the berries in this game are a lot more effective.
Useful.
Versus making the poffins. You're not making the little cupcake things. You're finding them from playing mini games. You use the berries as everything. Like you can make 50 or some berries for poisoners and poison cure and
they give you
a
little berry farm so you can grow what you want, which was so useful.
So much, and then you have the super effective berries where if your Pokemon eats this before it gets hit with its super effective element weakness, then it won't hit as hard. It'll hit for regular damage. So that's super useful. You stick it on there before you go to a battle and...
Yeah. So they refined a lot of things and they opened up a lot more options that I think people have been wanting for a long time. Because you hear about things like Hey You Pikachu and Pokemon Step, and they're coming out with Pokemon Go. Where it's a more social aspect with these creatures instead of just throwing them out to fight.
Yeah, I mean, you can when you play those games with them and you feed them and you pet them and you do that, you get attached. I mean, they're talking to you. And if you have not seen Pokemon Omni for Pikachu, you need to just go watch a video because it is the cutest thing on the planet, And you
can, pet them and they make faces at them because the 3DS camera can see your face, and if you make exaggerated faces at it, then it will recognize it has facial recognition in it, which is really advanced for a Pokemon game.
Well, the DS started to come out with things like that when they
Oh, okay. And
we're playing your game, your shoot 'em up game, or you
Yeah.
shoot things around the room kind of thing. Yeah.
and they see your face and they know the expression you've got, which was a little spooky at first, but then
Yeah, they're like,
it's-
wink at your Pokemon. Okay. Smile at your Pokemon. Hey. Go, ooh, and that kind of thing. And
yeah. So
They'll-
that was really
they'll get excited. They'll be like, yay,
and they just added a lot of depth to things other than the fighting, because the fighting obviously doesn't change.
No, that's their straight and narrow. That
Yeah.
we know how to do this. Okay, so just
Yeah. The only thing I don't think Pokemon has done yet is give you your own house. And that was in one of the others where you could play the cave game, where you could get prizes and arrange your room and then hide your secret hideout.
that was Sapphire Ruby.
That was Ruby and
That's
Sapphire.
hideouts, yeah.
And stuff like that. But you're a kid in all these games, so you don't get your own house. That'd be the next thing they could try out, is make you a teenager or make you an adult so you can start from there. But
Trying to think of Pokemon XD, you hang out at the lab all the time. You don't have a house. You don't even have like anything like
yeah,
that. I
but
think.
aren't you like demon-eyed emo kid in that game?
Yeah, you're always demon-eyed emo kid in those games. But, I mean, the whole point of those games is that you have something called the snag machine that
Yeah.
steals bad people's Pokemon, and XD has them having negative auras,
Yeah.
and
It's like a shadow whatever.
the shadow aura where they're like just absolutely messed up. So you need to steal them back, and then you put them in a bubble with a bunch of other Pokemon, and you have to make a loop
Yeah.
with their elements.
Yeah.
And so this has to be super effective against this, and then they have to be here,
Okay.
and that's how you heal them.
I got
Is you give them friends
I
to
got
play with.
I got tackled because of shadow Pokemon once. Did I tell you about that?
No.
I was going to lunch. This was when I was in high school. I was going to lunch with some of my friends. We always met in a certain spot, and they didn't see me through the crowd one day, so I started making faces at them. And suddenly they both turned and they saw me with my tongue sticking out, and they go, "It's a Shadow Tony, get him!" And they freaking shoulder checked me against a group of lockers. He's like, "We caught him, yeah."
Snag them.
Snag him.
That's what it's called, the snagging machine.
But what do you think? Just like by and large, I really liked it a lot.
I think it was a good way to go for having an engine suddenly upgrade itself so far ahead
Yeah.
that they didn't
Like the only thing I would have added
make it
to
too
this,
pretty.
the only thing
Make
I
it
would have
pretty,
added
make
to
it
this
too pretty.
game would have been the ability to like pick, like in Pokemon Yellow, where Pikachu follows you around. I would have liked to be able to pick any Pokemon I want to follow me around.
Yeah, and they have like in the older games, if you get a Lapras, then when you surf, you ride Lapras.
Yeah.
Same in this game. I'm super excited because I thought I could do any water Pokemon, so I got a Milotic, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna ride Milotic in the water, and then it's like the little Welmer Shadow. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because they have all the 3D models now. You'd think they could shape them or make them smaller to follow behind you.
Well, you could. I mean, Milotic's really big,
or
and you
be
can just sit
under
on
your-
its back, and it's slithering through the water. Like,
Yeah, exactly, or just different things like that. But by and large, I really don't have anything to like complain about. Like
no,
I
it's
said,
just a little weak. The bad guy, I'm still not really sure. Like, I can't tell if he's supposed to be one of those people or bad guys who's so intelligent that he sees the way the world is going, therefore he has to take care of it himself because he has the resources and he has the money. That's not really established. Plus, he's like best friends with Sycamore and
Lysander is best friends with Sycamore and the Pokemon champion.
the movie star lady who's your Pokemon champion, and they don't realize this is going on. It's like, really? You're supposed to be like buddy. Like, oh, he just has weird views. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about what he's saying. It's like, you guys are just blind. Like, yeah, he's your friend, and that's the only reason you can't see anything, I guess.
And yeah, I do know that that Pokemon is intended for small children, so they can't have super complex.
That shocked me. Like, there's this scene where he's like, pretty much like, oh, you've given me the Pokemon that you've taken. Like, you beat him, okay, and you beat him, and you go into the room to go save whichever. He saves
Yveltal.
and then I have Xerneas. And, like, you walk into the room and you're like, I can shut down the machine, and then the Pokemon comes out, and that whole part where it's like, I'm in here by myself, and that thing woke up, and then it's like, I'm like, it's not me, I swear it's the guy I beat, but
Yeah,
You know?
I can't imagine how that would have been with Xerneas, but Yveltal, like, hatches out of his fucking egg chrysalis thing. He's like,
It's like just a
dead!
Yeah, it's just like, I'm like, it wasn't me. I did not do any of this. But it's like, you're the only one in the room because you literally kicked Lysander's, ass back there. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Oh, shit. He's going to eat me. But he's like,
And
then he
then
comes back in and he's got like his devices.
His camera things.
And then it's this whole, like, he's like, if I can't have this Pokemon or I can't do this, then nobody will. And then he just, like, opens up the world and explodes himself. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand.
He's got all the makings of a Bond villain, but it's watered down.
Because you're supposed to feel bad for him, but I don't, because he's developed the holo monitor thing in this game. He's the guy who actually makes the holo monitors. He's got plenty of money. He's,
Yeah.
He's got all of these resources that could have gone to something else instead of making a death machine and deciding...
Oh, he didn't make it, though, as did.
And, finding the death machine and deciding the best way to use his resources is to kill everybody. I mean...
Yeah, and what... I kind of had to laugh is, like, out of all the people that he wanted to save, he didn't go for, like, doctors and engineers.
No, and then everybody, Team Flare's like,
children.
oh, I'll be fine. You'll die, but I'll be fine. Like, how...
And he picks these people who are from Team Flare, most of which are not especially bright.
Yeah.
But he's got, like, admins and engineers and scientists, but the rest of these people are just normal civilians. As, like, out of the 80 or so Team Flare members that we met, I was like... What function do these people serve, Lysander, in your New World Order?
Well, that's the other thing, is like half of them are around the place, like in the environment. You see Team Flare people, you can't fight them, but you can talk to them.
Yeah.
And they assume they're going to be fine. Like, oh no, I'm Team Flare, so I'll be fine. It's like, did Lysander give you a little bracelet that says, do not decimate me or something when the death beam comes down? Because there's just no way they would be saved.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they can't see that either.
Or they would have had like a countdown clock to, hey, report in on this day.
Or you're going to die.
We're going to be 20 floors below the surface.
But like half of them are out in the... where I'm assuming it's supposed to be the Eiffel Tower, or like it is the lightning badge.
Yeah.
They're there. They're just around. They're like, yeah, I'll be fine. No, I'll be fine too. And it's... Which
is, I think, partially to the game's credit, because... Team Rocket was just like, yeah, they're always stealing crap, and when it fades to black, they're just gone. But like, Team Flare, for all their bullshit and stuff, was that these were real people.
Yeah.
They were talking about fashion and their favorite coffee shops and what their hopes and dreams are. So some of them felt more real than Lysander.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, I don't know what kind of lottery he had to actually pick these people, but most of them felt like legitimate people.
Yeah, and then he's just like, says poetic things, like the Confucius things, like...
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm sorry. He contacts you on the hall thing. He's like, I'm sorry, but blah, 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 and I'm going to do this because the world is going to be drained otherwise. It's just this whole... There are a lot better ways to try and save humanity than to kill it.
Well, he's got the Sephiroth complex going on. It's like, well, there's too much pain and suffering in the world, therefore I'll kill everyone.
So nobody feels pain or suffering.
So to end pain and suffering. And I can understand, like, reducing the population in such a draconian way would help, but it doesn't mean you can't try something else, especially with his extraordinary...
Well, he's got the money to develop this machine.
Yeah.
That is, like, everybody is using.
Yeah, he basically invented the cell phone in this world.
That's like the holo monitor, and it's like, you don't have enough resources to change some minds? I don't think so.
Build an electric car, do something.
Exactly. It's like the electric gym, it runs on something. It's I can't remember what it runs on, but it's different. It's a very eco-forward game, I would say, because there's the little tiny cabs. And it's supposed to be European, so everything is little and tiny in Europe. No offense to anybody in Europe. But you guys have built streets that are, thousands of years old, and big giant cars can't fit down there, so small cars are much more eco-efficient and can actually fit. Yeah. So it has that feel of there are little alleyways and all this other little stuff, but it's a very eco-friendly game where you use your bicycles, you use your roller skates, you fly here and there, and you know, they're thinking about a lot of the environment in this game too, but... Yeah.
So Lysander's... I'm not seeing it. Like, there wasn't like a toxic waste dump or any like extraordinary sin against the environment that I could like justify unto Lysander. Like, Lysander saw this and that sent him over the edge. I didn't see anything like that.
Well, it's this idea that he wants to save humanity, but they seem to be saving themselves. But this game has a big statement, you know. And there's this ending poem that's written in every single language that says the only way we can save ourselves is to help each other, essentially. Yeah. And try to make yourself better in order to make others better versus, you know, just trying
consuming.
Or consuming everything, yeah. Yeah. So it's a very... that kind of mindset of we need to step forward in order to change things instead of waiting for somebody else to do it. Yeah. And Lysander had done that, but just the wrong way.
Yeah, Lysander was too, like, ultimatum based.
So it's like, this needs to happen now. Yeah. There will be no change. Just his big thing is he thought he didn't see a change.
And his answer was a big death laser.
It's a big giant death laser.
And I was like,
with a 3,000-year-old Pokemon fueling it, like...
Just on the chance, say the death laser worked and it killed everybody, would it not scorch the entire fucking planet?
Except for Team Flare, apparently, because they were underground.
And ruin everything, so all the forests... He even acknowledged...
I don't even know how Az survived that. He was down there locked in a cell.
Yeah, and even just, like, in my version at least... Lysander acknowledges that he's going to catastrophically murder all the Pokemon in the world, and too bad.
He just says useless people and useless Pokemon.
See, mine was so much darker.
Yours was way darker than mine. Like, he was like, I need to get rid of the useless people and the useless Pokemon because they're consuming things that they shouldn't.
Yeah, in mine he was like, it's...
I'm just going to kill everybody.
He said it was going to take out all Pokemon everywhere, but they were like part of a forgotten era or part of an era that's just come and gone. So God, Y was just so much darker than yours because he was just like...
I wish you could show the...
What?
The death. Yveltal's happy face. When you play with Pokemon Ami, oh my gosh.
When you take Yveltal, the Pokemon legendary bird of death, and you put him into the little Tamagotchi program where you can like play with him and pet him and stuff, when his mouth opens, he's got the biggest goober grin, like
and his eyes close and he's happy. You're like, ah!
And you're like, don't do that.
Don't do that. Like, my Pokemon does not have a mouth.
Yeah.
Xerneas does not have a mouth.
Xerneas doesn't have a mouth.
Or that I can see. I tried to feed it Pokepuffs and I still didn't see it like going like the other ones do. Yeah. But his is like, it's like a Muppet mouth that just kind of swings down.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have a tongue. It's just a red space.
Yeah, it's just something to consume all.
His original move, Oblivion Wing, is a beam that comes out of his mouth, so that might be the only reason he has one. He's just like, I was like,
we got our Pokemon. We're like, I wonder if we can pet him and stuff. And then you get it, and it's a dual screen, it's the DS, and all you see is Xerneas' feet and his head up here. And most of the time, you just have the Pokemon on the bottom screen. I'm like, what do I pet its feet? I can't pet its head because it won't come down. It's just up here. And, and he is, and he's happy.
So, Pokemon or legendary of death and destruction indeed. Yeah. But by and large, I think I enjoyed it and would recommend it to others because there's always like that turn-based RPG itch that you get now and then where you just want to play something simple, something turn-based that's not like super deep or super serious, and Pokemon I think scratches that really well. Yeah. And like I said, I was playing this during breaks at work and sometimes here at home, and even if I just like ran through the story and didn't do much of anything else, I had a great time.
Yeah, and I'm still playing it because I want to get my shiny Ponyta, and I have like 427 odd Pokemon in my Pokedex, and I'm trying to get not all of them, but the ones that I want. Yeah. Because I've played a lot of games of Pokemon, and I know which Pokemon I want, and I'm trying to get to that point. And it's slowly getting there. Like, you have Moltres in your game.
Yeah, as soon as you finish out the story and wander into the grass again, it conjures a legendary bird. Mine was Moltres.
And mine is Zapdos, so I'm chasing the Zapdos down.
Yeah.
You can get Mewtwo, but I'm not going to tell you how. If you want to go get him, you can.
Meh.
I have the Mewtwo now. So, I'm going for, like, not all legendaries. Like, I don't want every single legendary. I can live without Raikou. You know, I can live without a bunch of them. Like, I really don't want Zapdos, but I can trade it to get an Articuno probably. So, I'm hopefully going to get the Zapdos just to get the Articuno.
Yeah.
But I'm playing through it to try and get what I want.
Yeah.
Which is going to be the shiny Rapidash.
Yeah.
And a couple other ones. Like, I have my... I want an Aggron really badly, but I have a Lairon, so I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of the other ones. Like, my big ones that I like are all dark type. I'm a very dark type person. I don't think that says anything about my personality, but I have all the EV evolutions, which I wanted. And I'm trying to get... Do I have all my dark types? I think I have all my dark types now. But I'm trying, my big thing right now is I'm trying to get the Zapdos so I can get the Articuno.
Oh, yeah.
That's my big thing right now, is I'm hunting down the Zapdos slowly but surely.
And we do have, I don't know if there's a release date yet. As of the making of this video, please check the date before you make a comment. Pokemon Sun and Moon are coming out.
Well, there's the balance one.
Oh, that's right. Pokemon Z
because they
has not yet been released.
They came out with Alpha and Omega. They came out with the new Ruby Sapphire.
Rubies, yeah, Omega Alpha and Rubies, and...
Is it Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I didn't play it. This is the one I got. I trade with plenty of you guys out there, but... But
Pokemon Z is going to bring in a legendary Pokemon of balance to come in.
He kind of looks like a tapeworm. I'm not going to lie. It's gross.
And then they're already talking about Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
Pokemon Go. Which is a phone app that you can fight Pokemon out with.
I'm not impressed with Pokemon Go, and I am going to be waiting for the first news report where some poor kid walks into traffic or something and gets nailed by a bus chasing something on Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan.
I don't know why they haven't done it with the DS though.
Because it has the same capability.
That's what I mean. It has the same capability to do the looking around with the camera.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe Pokemon Go needs access to like Google Maps or something that would tell you to go to a park where it's safe to do that.
Maybe.
Or a playground or a school.
I don't want some kid to run around, in the woods and get lost because of it.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll figure it out. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like
we don't know.
Because you can, in Google Maps, you can designate stadiums, parks.
You can designate anything in Google Maps.
And like large green areas have designations on the Google Maps as an area. So they can just say, well, anything Google calls a park, we're going to say that's got Weedles in it.
They came out with that game where you could get monsters from barcodes.
Yeah, those are...
For a while.
Scantron games.
Yeah.
Where you could get
Maybe it'll be something like that.
They had those when I was a kid. You could get one that was like aliens and one that was like wrestlers. And you could just like scan soup cans.
Or maybe it'll be like the one game that's so popular with the 3 factions running around and you battle people when you get to that area.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be like that. Because that's safe. I mean, 2 of my friends play that game all the time. Where one of them is wants to take over everybody's mind and make them equal faction, and the other one is the rebels, where they're like, no, everybody should think for themselves. And
and
but that one's like designated areas.
Yeah, that's like statues and
parks and places that are not in traffic.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be like that.
I don't know. But I guess that's really all I have to say about X and Y. You got anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay,
we got the Umbreon, and there's Mapuchin. He's right there. He's my little guy. They're my darks.
So, thank you for joining us, you guys. This was the first, like I said, hopefully of many episodes of T and Bri Chat. We're going to be talking about other things, games, movies, series. We're getting hooked into several animes and things like that. So hopefully This will be a semi-regular thing. If you're seeing this, it means we've already recorded several episodes. I'm not just going to film one and drop it and then not do anything else ever again. So if this pops up, it means there are already several of these on the way. So I hope you guys had fun listening in on our discussion. If you have anything you'd like to add about Pokemon, or Pokemon X and Y, especially if you had any specific experience or got something crazy out of a Wonder Trade or whatever it happens to be, share it below. I want to hear from you. Hit the little like button, etc., etc. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Thank you in advance to the person who gave me their shiny mouse stick that was like level 74. I was not expecting that. Bye.